Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning. Oh my goodness. It is, what is it, the 10th? I think it's the 10th today. Yeah, we are trucking along here in April in 2021. I mean, it's like blowing by us. It's like every day I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going by so fast. So welcome everybody. This training session today, if you've not been here before, we're already amassing a little bit of a crowd here. If you haven't been here before, this is basically just about helping you start, run, and grow online businesses. I usually have a topic that I'm going to talk about. Today it's going to be how to get your emails open. But if you have questions, anything about learning how to make money online, growing your business online, marketing online, this is the place for you to be. I normally am here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday at 9 and Saturdays at 10 o'clock. I sleep in. I'm lazy on Saturday. Look at that. Loud and clear. Oh yeah, I already smashed the like gizmo, he says. That's right. Smash that like button if you would, guys. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down there and ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified every time I go live or every time I upload a new video, which is frequently. Okay, I've been doing a lot lately. I've really enjoyed working with you guys. I'm getting a lot of great comments on the videos, and I really appreciate that. You know, when these videos are over with, if you're not here live, by all means, put your questions in the comments. I'm actively helping several people right now work on their businesses, just going back and forth on some emails. It's really fun. It's fun to see them getting results, and that's what I want for you guys too. So feel free to do that. And also in this chat section here, I've got a couple people that are awesome, like Richard and Paul and James. They're always putting comments in there, and I really appreciate it, guys. But the rest of you, do the same thing, man. Put some comments in there. Interact. The more you interact, the more you're going to learn. The more you learn, the more money you're going to make and grow your business. That's what it's all about. And I heard somebody talking the other day about was it the right thing to do during the illness to sell stuff to people? And absolutely yes, it's the right thing to do, because if you have a good product and it's going to help somebody, it's going to cure a pain point, it's going to make them better at something, it's going to make them sleep better or happier or healthier, whatever the heck it is your product does, you owe it to them. You owe it to the world to get your product out there. There's nothing wrong with marketing. Let's see. What is the best email responder for starting out? 100% Kartra, Paul. I know some people don't want to do it because it's like 99 bucks. You can get a free trial, not a free trial, excuse me. You can get a $1 trial if you use my link below. But I'm telling you, if you use some crappy email responder, a couple things are going to happen. And I ran into this. Your emails are not going to get delivered. They're going to go to spam. You have just such a higher rate of deliverability with Kartra. When I switched over from Infusionsoft to Kartra, my income went way up, and it went way up because emails were getting in front of people. What you may not realize is if you're with a crappy email provider, a really cheap one that doesn't charge you hardly anything, most of your emails will never get seen. If they never get seen, they're not going to get open. They don't get open, you don't make any money, so you saved what, $20 or $50 or whatever on an email provider, but nobody's seeing your emails. So get a good one, man. I would just definitely say get a good one. Friday lunch looked good. Yeah, it was Ethiopian. We love Ethiopian, and we've already found an Ethiopian place in Round Rock, which is just pretty close to Georgetown, where we're going to live in Texas. We know the lady there. She's the sweetest thing in the world. So we're going to definitely go back to her restaurant. I love Ethiopian food. Is creating curiosity in the subject line a secret? Not quite. But I am going to give you an example of the email I sent out to you guys. Let's see here. This is the email I sent out today, and it says, such a stupid thing to put in a subject line. Such a stupid thing. The first 4 words, and I want you to keep that in mind, are such a stupid thing. And then the subheading to this was, I see people make these mistakes in emails every day. Okay, so I want you to think about what that says in email terms, okay? But I do want to go through a few steps of this stuff that I think is like super important, that will actually help your email open rate before you even send an email, okay? These are really super important things that you guys do or don't do, whatever the case may be, to get your emails open, okay? So I want to get with them, and the first thing I would tell you is you want to be as personal as you possibly can. Now, I don't wear this out. However, With Kartra, I can dynamically put the person's name in the subject line. So if I'm sending one to, Paul or James or Tom or Frank or whoever it is, I can actually put their name in the subject line. I don't do that every single email, but I do it every now and then. It's kind of getting personal, okay? And the other thing I would tell you is never have an email come from like information at survivalcavefood.com, okay? It always comes from me. It's J.R. Fisher, okay? It's a human being it's coming from. I hate to get corporate emails. I'm more apt to open an email if I know it's coming from a person. So that's a big thing you can do. Now, yes, James was right when he says subject lines. Subject lines are so very important. As a matter of fact, when this training is over today, I have put together 20 subject lines I'm going to give you guys. I used to sell these things for like $50, but you can get it for free. It's going to be in the description section. It won't be there now. It'll be once this video has posted, and you'll see a link there, and you can just download all of those subject lines. You can use them. Doesn't matter what your business is. Now, here's the big thing I see people really screw up in the subject line. In the subject line, they put the subject of the email. And you're going to be like, well, yeah, aren't you supposed to do that? No, you're not supposed to do that. Do not put the subject of the email in the subject line. Because if I put the subject of whatever, like let's say I say 20% off on men's shirts, this week only. What does the person know? They know every single thing about the email at this point. They know, yeah, if I click on this, it's going to tell me that there's 20% off on men's shirts. Well, I wanted some shorts, so I'm not going to click on this email. Or a female sees it and says, well, it's men's shirts. There's no point in me clicking on this email. Or a real bargain hunter says, well, 20% off on men's shirts. I think 30 to 40% off is a good sale. I'm not going to click on it. So what you've done essentially is you've killed your chances of saying your message. Understand there's several different parts to an email. You've got the subject line, you've got the pre-content line, you've got the body of the email, and then you've got the page they're going to land on, okay? So what is the job of a subject line? The job of a subject line is to get them to open the email. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason that there's a subject line there. And if you make some type of curiosity to that subject line, if you make that subject line kind of interesting, you're going to have a whole lot better chance of somebody clicking on it. Okay, so like I said, I got all these subject lines I want to give you guys for free. It's going to be a downloadable. It's going to be in the description section of this video once it's gone, posted, whatever you want to call it. It's not live anymore. Let's see here. Richard Brown says intrigue. Yes. Richard Brown says closed loop. Yes. They got to click it to see what happens, right? Let's see. Paul says, what are your top picks for learning how to construct emails? Does Kartra provide email templates? Email templates. I want to think about that. They do for certain areas. I think the best way to learn how to do emails is find somebody you like and save their emails. There's certain people, like I like Frank Kern's stuff, and I'll save a lot of his emails because he has some interesting stuff. Okay, and I've created a file of that. And it was funny, about 2 years ago, he was selling an email swipe file of all the emails he had sent out for 24 months, and he was selling it for $495. Now, you could buy all these emails for $495, or you could just look in your trash bin and get all of the emails he sent you for the past 24 months. Okay, because that's what he was doing. He was selling you emails he already sent to you. Which is the funniest thing in the world, and he sold it, and people bought it. And I was like, wow, if you like his emails, why don't you just keep them and look at them later on? But he put them in a file for you, and he sold them to you, which was pretty funny. Just Roblox is back. Good to see you, man. Do you maintain emails? Do you maintain a swipe file to draw from the emails that worked in the past? Do you maintain the same email format? I kind of got it in my brain, Paul, at this point. I know kind of what works for me. And I do some split test on emails, but I know curiosity and questions works really well. It was like the one I sent out today, that you guys got today. It says in the subject line, there it is, such a stupid thing to put in a subject line. Now, what does that tell you about the email? It doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you a gosh darn thing. And then the prefix one, and Kartra will allow you to do this, where you have like a description of what's in the email. The description says, I see people make these mistakes in emails every day. What does that mean? It kind of makes you want to click, I think. I had a lot of people click, a lot of people open it. Just sent one out. Richard Brown, cool. I'd love to see what you sent out, man. I have the same problem with my emails. I have files of swipes, and I save the legends and make them my own. Yeah, why not? Because you know what? Let me tell you about the legends, guys. The legends are people who didn't know at one point either, and they copied somebody else. Everybody copies everybody. Nothing is new on the face of the earth. Everything is just improved upon. That's it. There's nothing new anymore. Don't tell me there's something new, because there isn't anything new. It's just improved upon. Okay, it's made better. So there's nothing wrong with borrowing. People don't own their subject lines. That's why I'm giving these to you. There's 20 that are really worth it. They're going to be in the description when this video ends. You just click and download them. You have to buy them. You don't have to do anything. No credit card or anything. Let me get a sip of this. So we talked about subject line. We talked about the pre-header, which is the one that I put in mind, the pre-header, right? And the next thing is to really, really, really realize, and this is number 4, to set up your emails to work on mobile devices, okay? Over 50% of emails are now read on mobile devices, and I bet that's higher. That's the last statistic I saw, but I bet it's like 80 or 90%. I would say 90% of my emails are read on my mobile phone. So here's the key. The first 4 words or 50 characters you submit on the subject line are going to be the most important, because that's pretty much all you're going to see on mobile readers, okay? So it's really important that you make those words count. Once again, my first 4 words was such a stupid thing. Such a stupid thing. Now, it says such a stupid thing to put in a subject line. It kind of makes you think a little bit, and it got a really good high open rate. And I had a whole bunch of I have a different subject line on everything I send out, even if it's on the same product I'm selling. So I do that. So you want to make sure you orient every email to mobile devices. You can use certain programs to preview it. In Kartra, you can actually just hit a preview button and you can see what it's going to look like. Number 5. Hook your reader with the opener, okay? Hook your reader with an opener. So I'm going to look at my email I sent out here. I'm going to pick on my own emails. This one here is the last minute one. It says, you only have 15 minutes before I do my live coaching call, obviously. But below that it says, if you're reading this email, I know how to get emails open, right? If you're reading this email, then I know how to get emails open. And there it is in case you didn't see it. Okay, that's the email that just went out right before I started today. Right before I started. So you can kind of see what I did. Now what I do is I have a lot of call to actions in here, okay? So I have one here, I have one down here. If you click on this picture, it's a call to action. So all those things are little calls to action. So, and I don't know why anybody wouldn't have a call to action, but you got to have call to actions in your email. What's the point in sending an email without wanting them to do something, okay? So we hooked them. We have the calls to action in there. The next thing I would say is, and this is probably number 7 now, focus on the reader. All right, the rest of your message should briefly elaborate on what you can offer the reader. What are you going to do for them? In my email I sent out today, I told you I was going to help you get your emails open, and I certainly am. And if you do these things and you download those subject lines that are going to be free in the description afterwards, you are going to get more opens on your emails. You're going to get better results from doing that. Let's see here. Your call to actions, I would say when you're doing that, guys, have at least 2 or 3. In this particular one, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've got 4. Now, in the call to action, I want you to say what's going to happen when they click. Okay, so don't just say click here. That doesn't tell me anything. What does mine say? It says click here to join my training today, 4/10/21. So when you click on that button, what's going to happen. Click here now to join me or set a reminder. Okay, what's going to happen. So make sure that wherever you're telling them to click, it says what's going to happen. It says join or shop or donate or register or whatever it is. Don't just say click here. Click here doesn't mean anything, okay? You got to say what it's going to do for them. Super important that you do that. Now the next thing is, one of the best ways to get your email open is to send it to the right people, right? Send it to people who are going to be interested in that subject. Now, I have a list of survivalists, people who buy survival food, survival products, and I would not send them the list, or I would not send them the email that I sent this morning that a lot of you guys got. Why? Because they're not interested in starting, running, and growing businesses online. You need to segment your list for the people who are interested in what you have. And I have my list all segmented, people who bought stuff, people who didn't buy stuff, people who are survivalists, people who want to make money online, people who are interested in SEO. And I can go in there and I can create an email that's going to match their interest. See, if that email matches your interest, aren't you going to be more likely to open it? Aren't you going to be more likely to click on it? If I send you an email today and it's about how to make fly fishing lures, okay? And I send it out to this audience right here. Most of you wouldn't open it and you'd probably unsubscribe because you'd say, well, I'm not interested in that. That's not my thing. Now, there could be some fly fishermen out there, so if so, more power to you. Let's see what else we got in here. I had the same problem with my email. Yep, just sent one out. It can't open. You said before that you use 2 to 3 links on your pages. Do you use a specific font, and thoughts on adding color to sub-headlines? It really depends. I have to look at the page. I really like white backgrounds on landing pages. White backgrounds with black text or dark blue text work really well for me. Red can work really well for me. If you want to get an idea of what colors market well, look at fast food. Look at Taco Bell. Look at Burger King. Look at McDonald's. Look at KFC. They all have red and white. Every single one of them. If you've never stopped and looked at those, they all pretty much have the same colors. Geico, when they run their ads, their screen is very distinct. Progressive Insurance, Liberty Insurance, they have like this yellow background for Liberty that really stands out, and that yellow really works for them. I wouldn't say there's a particular font. I would say stay away from any fonts that look too busy. Anything that's too script-like or too fancy. I see a lot of females do this, and they'll do a page with all this fancy, pretty script and all that, but you can't read the darn stuff. You can't read it, and though it looks pretty, nobody's reading it. Nobody is reading it. I was going through a guy, and I don't want to say his name because he's been around for about 20 years, and he teaches people how to market online. But I get more views than he does, and he's been around for 21 years. And I've been around since 2009, which is half the amount of time, and I looked at his channel, and I'm crushing him on views. Now, why is that? Well, I look at it, first off, he's not putting out enough content. He puts out 1 video a week. 1 a week is not enough. And then he puts out videos that are 4, 5, 6 minutes, sometimes 8. His videos aren't long enough. And then he puts thumbnails with whole bunches of words on there that you can't read. So though he may be good at making, launches and stuff like that, some of you may know who I'm talking about, he may be good at doing a launch, he doesn't know how to market with emails. He doesn't know how to market videos. I don't know it all by far, but it is interesting to see some of the really big name people, and you go through all of the things that are required, let's say a Facebook, a YouTube, emails, sales pages, and you can find holes in some of those, right? Because they're not good at everything, right? I'm not good at everything. Nobody can be good at everything, but you will be good at what you concentrate on and what you work on. So yeah, the last thing I think would be segmenting your list. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about it. Richard Brown says, Arial 20 point is what I use. Yeah, I will tell you this. When I'm writing an email, it is almost always 20 point. Almost always. It defaults to 16, and I always change it to 20. In cartridge, it defaults to 16, and it's too small. And here's the thing with font size. You do want it clean and crisp, okay? There's a lot of decent fonts. But Arial's very, very good. He's right. That's very good. In fact, I think mine are all written in Arial too. But you want one that is really clean and easy to read. Now, you may say, well, JR, I don't need a font that's 20. I can read a 16 just fine. Well, maybe you can, and that's great that you can. However, here's a fact I want you to think about. Let me get back to my other screen here real quick, guys. There we go. Here's a fact I want you to think about. Let's say you're sending your email out to 1,000 people. Do you think that some of them would prefer to have a larger font because it's difficult to see. Do you think that's possible? Okay, now hang with me for a second on that. The people who don't need the bigger font, do you think you're going to offend them by having a bigger font? And the answer is no. They're going to just be like, oh, it's a bigger font. You know, they don't care about that. But the people who do want a bigger font, you're going to make them happy. So overall, using a bigger font is the smart thing to do. And I think 20 is perfect, like what he just said. I think 20 point is perfect, Richard, if you're doing that. I mean, that's my opinion, right? But in my opinion and my experience, it's worked really well. Email service don't determine delivery. Well, yeah, they kind of do. And here's why, because email services can get blacklisted. Certain services can. And Yahoo could say, well, I don't like this service provider because a lot of spam comes from them. So yeah, it really can hurt you. And that's why Kartra is really picky about you uploading names and putting names in there, because they don't want to hurt their brand. And I know for a fact that Infusionsoft is really damaged, or was damaged when I was using it, because I got very low open rates, and I took the same emails and put them in Kartra, and I got high open rates. The only determining factor was the email provider. Now, some of them will flip around and use different IP addresses, and they'll different servers and all these different things to try to circumvent the system. But I'm telling you, if you get with one that has a bad reputation, it's going to hurt you. It's a fact. It will hurt you. You can Google that. You'll see that. Let's see. Long page emails versus short one-page emails with bullet points. You know, I've seen super short ones work very well. Very well. And long ones, I think, are dying out. Just my opinion. So I'm kind of in between. I'm going to have, you know what, let me take a look at that email I sent out today once again. I'm looking at my own stuff here. So this is the email I sent out today. Oh, you guys can't really see that, can you? Okay, so there's the email I sent out today. And I'll just read it to you real quick. It says, hey, Jessica, you only have, and I used her name in here, you only have 15 minutes before I do my live coaching call. That is in one paragraph. Space. Okay, see the space? You got to have space in there, guys. Got to have space. Then it says, if you're reading this email, then you know I know how to get emails open. So I said what's a fact. If they're reading this email, they know I'm right. Okay, I've proved my point. And then I went right into the close right here. It says, click here to join my live training, has the date and time, and then it has a picture there that is clickable. And then right below that, it says, if no one, or almost no one, is opening your emails, I can help you fix that. And I can, and I am right now, okay? And then it says, once again, click here, let me go up here, click here, where is it? Let me try to get it, you can see it. Click here to join my free training on today, 4/10/21. You can't sell anything or get your message in front of anyone if you can't get your emails open. And then once again, I have the date on there, today, 4/10 at 10 a.m. I'll be sharing the secrets to getting more emails open and more sales made. Click here to join now or set a reminder. And then the one thing I really like doing, guys, and here it is, there's a PS, and it says, PS, this one session could turn around your entire business and send you in a profitable direction. Click here now to join me to set a reminder. So the stuff I'm telling you works. It works, okay? So I'm not going to tell you this otherwise. Yes, your font to see. Check them on mobile. Yes, always check on mobile. That's what I was saying earlier. Kartra allows you to do that while you're writing the email, so that's nice. Thanks, Richard. Never forget the PS, 100%. Now, I've seen people go PS, PSSS, PSSSS, and put 3 PSs in there. The only problem with that is if you're putting links in every one, if you overdo the link thing, like you got like 10 things where they can click to go, you can get your emails marked as spam. So you want to be real careful about that. You know, I think, 3, 4 max is probably all you want to do, but you do want at least 2, and you want one of them above the fold. And this is what I mean by above the fold. So this is the email right here, and as you can see, there is a click right there. Click here to join. That they don't have to scroll to get to that. Now there are more down here. Whoops, there we go. But they don't have to scroll to get to it. So if you want it to get seen, you're going to need to put it high enough up so that they can click without scrolling, because here's the truth. Just think about numbers for a second. What percentage of the people scroll on an email? Now, you're never going to tell me 100%, are you? You're never going to say, well, 100% of the people scroll when they get an email. There's no such thing as 100%. So since there's not 100%, and if you don't have that click here above the fold, then you're going to lose some people just by sheer numbers. Think about that, just sheer numbers. Now, this also goes with the page you're sending them to. So if I'm sending them to a sales page and it has a thing, buy now, or opt in or register, whatever it is, make sure one of those call to actions is above the fold. Why? Because there's no such thing as 100% scroll rate. Not everybody scrolls. Matter of fact, it's been said that when they go to a sales page, only 80 to 85% 80 to 85% never scroll. Never scroll. So if 80 to 85% never scroll, what have you done? You've wiped out 80 to 85% of your audience chance of clicking and ever seeing your message or buying your product or doing anything. So think about that. It's a numbers thing, guys. You want to work the numbers. Those little minute things make such a difference. And I have a neighbor who sells jewelry, and I see some of his ads and emails come through, and they're awful. And I think, wow, you live close to somebody. You ought to have them look at your stuff, because whoever's doing it is terrible. And he's a super nice person, and I think whoever's doing it is just ripping him off. But the point is, use all of these things that are to your advantage. Now, here's the last part. Here's the last part about sending out emails, okay? This is a big one. If you want to get your emails open, ready for this? Only send out emails that are worthwhile. Don't send out crap. Okay? Don't send me crap and expect me to open your next email. The best way to get your email open is the previous email you sent me was a good one. I got value out of it. I liked what was in it. It was something worthwhile to me. It solved a problem for me. It gave me a great deal. It did something for me. If I got that in your last email, then I'm probably going to open your next email. Same thing on YouTube. If you come to my training and I sit here and say, well, ask me questions if you got anything you want to know, and I don't give you anything, I haven't prepared anything, I just sit here, how likely are you to show up at the next video? Probably not going to do it, are you? You're like, well, now I wasted my time. He didn't give me anything. He expected me to ask all the questions. Now, I love you to ask the questions. Don't get me wrong, guys. However, it's incumbent upon me to have some information that's worthwhile for you, because here's the truth. If you're learning to sell online, you may not know the question to ask. So if you don't know the question to ask, I've got to put information out there so you can go, oh, that. Now I can ask some questions, right? So it's got to be like that, right? Nugget folks, above the fold. Yes, Richard. So important. I love Richard. He is really putting some comments in here today. I really appreciate that. LOL, your bad emails. I asked myself, would I open it? Yeah, would I open it? When you're doing an email, look at it and go, would I open this email? Would I do that? And this is true with everything you do. And I see people do crappy sales pages and crappy emails and just crappy everything. Do whatever you're going to do and then sit back, literally sit back, and look at it and go, what does it look like? What does it make me think? What does it say? I can look at a sales page now and go, well, what does it mean? It says, join my training to get the top 10 ways to exercise. I'm like, nah. But if it says, join my training and learn 5 hidden secrets that are newly discovered to lose 7 pounds in 10 days. Well, newly discovered hidden secrets. Okay, now I'm getting it. All right, now I'm buying in. I'm buying in a little bit. So think about what you're saying, guys. Don't just fire off these emails and they're crap. Okay, don't do that, because if you fire off crappy emails, you're going to get a lower open rate in the future. You're determining if your next email is going to get open by giving crappy emails. Guys, put whatever questions you have in here. We're probably nearing the end here soon, and I do want to get any of your questions answered. Anything you'd like to know about emails, anything you'd like to know about marketing online, anything you'd like to do, know about making money online, YouTube channels, whatever you want, go ahead and put them in there. Let me get a sip real quick. I've been yakking for a long time. Tell me about your day. Tell me what you got planned for this weekend. And let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this. Check this out. If I sat down with you today and I said, tell me about your weekend, what you're going to do. Tell me about next week, and tell me about the year, the rest of the year, and how would I feel after you told me about all this? Okay, now I'm talking about business-wise. Okay, I'm talking about business-wise. Would I go away from you and say, man, dude's got a plan. She's got a plan. I mean, this is exciting stuff, and what they're going to do is amazing. I can't believe they're going to do all this. Now, what if I walked away from you after having that conversation and I was like, they got nothing going on. Nothing's happening in their lives. I don't see them working hard. I don't see them doing anything. I bet their life won't change a bit in the next year. Also, they'll probably be more unhealthy because I didn't see exercise worked into any of that. Which attitude would I have after I heard your plan? Think about it. Which attitude would I have after I heard your plan? Now, some of you, and I posted this on Facebook, you may have seen it. Some of you may say, well, JR, I've got to know what to do. I just need somebody to come along and excite me. And if I have somebody come along and excites me, then of course, I'm going to do well. What if nobody shows up, guys? What if nobody shows up? I posted this yesterday, and I want to share it with you guys right here. Because this is the thing that messes people up. If things don't work out, it's because they aren't supposed to. Do you have that attitude? If things don't work out, it's because they aren't supposed to. This is played out in my life time and time and time again. You know, not too long ago, we were looking at houses in 2020, the beginning of 2020, in San Diego. And we were going to really settle for some house that we really didn't want, but the market's so expensive and everything costs so much. We were like, well, we just got to bite the bullet and do it. And it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And then one day I'm sitting here and we're talking and we decided, you know, I think Texas would be a great state to live in. And we went there and we found a house and we put some earnest money on it. And that house has skyrocketed in value and it's not even completed being built yet. Went up $150,000 in like 30 days. At the time, I was upset because I didn't find what I wanted in San Diego, but it wasn't supposed to work out. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it wasn't supposed to work out. You don't know it either. But when something doesn't work out, if you want to keep your head on straight, tell yourself it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to. There's something else there for me. I just don't know what it is yet. You know, I tell the story that my wife's car got stolen. A few years ago, out of the driveway. I only had 15,000 miles on it. And when it got stolen, I just looked at her and I said, something good's going to come of this. She says, well, how could anything good come of the fact that my car just got stolen? And the fact is that they did find it, they totaled it, and she got way more money for that car than what it was worth, and she got a car she liked much better. Now, at the time, we couldn't see that. There's no way we could predict that. We didn't know that was going to happen. But if you take the attitude, whatever happens is the best thing for you. If things don't work out the way you wanted, they weren't supposed to work out that way. They weren't. Just accept that. I know it's hard to swallow. I get it. You know, when I was 19, you couldn't have convinced me of this, right? Even at 25 or 30, you probably couldn't convince me of it. But now I can look at it and go, yeah, it's good. It's all good, man. Whatever. It didn't work out. It probably wasn't supposed to. Can you go away today with that attitude? Can you approach this weekend with that attitude? Can you approach next week with that attitude? How about 2021 with that attitude? What would 2021 look like if every time something didn't work out that you wanted to work out, you said, probably wasn't supposed to. I'm just going to keep going. What kind of attitude is that? That's a successful attitude, I think. That's a really successful one. If you can adopt that, man, let me look at some of these comments real quick. Let's see. Hate the emails that promise $500 by the end of the month. Yeah, especially when you get them on the 30th. That damages us all. Yes, it does, Richard. Richard Brown says he's excited. Well, good. How about the rest of you folks? You're excited about your plan. That's good. Because if you ain't excited about it, ain't nobody else going to be excited about it either, right? I need to find out how to format the book I wrote in longhand for Kindle. Simple thing to do, James. I would suggest you go to Fiverr and just hire somebody and say, format book for Kindle. period. You'll have somebody and it'll probably cost you like a little bit of nothing, maybe $20, $50, something like that. That's what I would recommend you doing. I hire people out there all the time. I found a guy who has great emails for his product and had 100 different emails for his autoresponder. I look forward to opening them so much, I printed them out for my swipe files. That's awesome. I don't know who this guy is. Now, in my survival food company, before COVID, because we had to draw back some of our supplies, but we had 6 months worth of emails that you would get every single day for 6 months. 6 months. It's a lot. Richard Brown, James, get in touch, mate. Okay, so there you go. Made a connection here. Look, made a business connection, guys. That's awesome. Just love your entrepreneurial comments, etc. Great. Thank you, Richard. Acceptance is the way to serenity. James, spoken like a man who's been around for a couple years. You just gotta accept stuff. And you know, they say that people who live the longest can accept death better than anybody else. And what that means is when they lose a loved one, they're sad, but they go on. You know, it's those people that get stuck. They lose somebody and it's like, oh my gosh, my life would be so much better if that person was still around. Well, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But I can tell you this, if you don't accept what happens in life, you get stuck. And when you get stuck, you can't move forward. Stuck means don't move forward, okay? In case you don't know what that word means. Don't get stuck, guys. Just enjoy what you got, man. You got so much more than so many other people in the world. No matter who you are right now, you're better off than somebody, okay? And they would gladly trade places with you. And even if you find the person in the world is the worst situation, nothing worse than their situation, the guy who died yesterday would trade places with him, right? So be thankful for what you got, move forward, be excited about what your future is, be excited about what you're doing, and make it exciting enough to where other people hear it and they go, yeah, man, I'm excited too. That's pretty darn cool. Now, guys, don't forget, subscribe if you haven't done so, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified every time I go live, or if I upload a video, which would be about 5 days a week. All right, a lot of content out there, trying to do a lot. The 5 videos I do a week, and then the 6 lives, that's 11 videos a week for you to ponder over, to learn from, to get information. And of course, I have stuff for sale. I never sell for sale, sell, for sale. That's it. I have stuff for sale. And it would be in the description later on if you want to check that out. No big deal. If you don't, that's no problem either. You can just grab my free stuff. That's okay. There's a large enough percentage of you guys who do buy my stuff and get results, and we do fine there, so that's a good thing. Thanks so much for showing up today, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Love having you here. I think my lighting sucks today. I look blurry. I don't know. Do I look blurry to you guys? It looks very blurry today for some reason. I gotta get that fixed. It wasn't like that yesterday. Thank goodness, no cards, etc. Haha. Yeah, I think I was attracting some people who really weren't here for the purpose by giving away those little gift cards. You know, and I mean, it's not hardly any money, but yeah, I don't want people who want to live off a free gift card, right? I want people who want to really put forth effort and do something. But I will give away some stuff every now and then. I'm an entrepreneur, not a gambler. That's right. Thank goodness. There you go, Richard. I'm not a gambler. Loving the tribe and vibe here. Everyone seems to have the attitude of gratitude. Yes, you guys are awesome. I'd rather spend time with you than many family members that I have. Let's see. And too blessed to be stressed. Oh man, what are you rapping there, Paul? You got rap going on. Hope everyone has a great weekend, gang. James Breen says, sorry, Richard and Paul, I'm not on Facebook. My email is James, and he's got an email in there, guys, if you want to email him. My samples are supposed to come today. Oh, cool, Paul. You're moving forward. I want to see them. All right, guys, you have a great weekend. I'm going to go get some work done, get a little workout done today, have a little lunch, enjoy my day, and I hope you guys have a just incredible weekend, an incredible